So what's the HR lady doing here? That was the question I actually asked myself after I saw this long list of CTOs, CIOs, CEOs, and I got a little bit intimidated yesterday when I was in the room. I actually didn't speak to anyone because I was so fearful I'm going to expose that I actually have no clue. Now, then I actually thought, and the panel just mentioned it, every digital transformation fails or succeeds because of one thing: people. So whilst you are the expert on how to install an AI or a technology, I actually acquired some expertise over the last 15 years on how to engage and how to transform people. So I truly believe partnering with your HR lead on how to build along this transformation can make the difference of between installing an AI or really transforming your organization through it. So I have 15 years of experience. I have worked in 7 countries. I've worked in Latin America, in Mexico, Argentina, the US, in Europe, and I'm also now in Singapore. And I recently asked myself, so what's going to be next? I went to an event which was called the Future Human event here in Dubai, where we spent a full day on AI technology. And in that event, they recorded me for 15 minutes and they created a clone of me. And that actually got me a little bit scareful, because I'm going to show you she by now is training our employees and she speaks actually 30 different languages.
Let's dive into how you can make your day-to-day work more efficient. Now, did you know you can take this training in any language? صباح الخير، يونيليفر انترناشونال، أنا متحمس جدا لوجودي هنا معكم اليوم. هل تعلم أنه يمكنك توفير ساعتين من العمل يوميا عند استخدام كوبايلوت لأقصى حد؟
So you actually don't really know, is that me or is it a clone, right? And she speaks Arabic. She has a problem with the male and female pronouns, so she's still figuring that out and learning that, right? But she is actually quite skilled already. And she just did a training last week for my employees in South Korea, where I never was able to even pronounce the names. Now, then I said, can AI actually be creative? And can it create music? I'm an opera singer. So I actually said, if I sing to the AI, can it create a song with it? And actually, as you can see, it can. Can you start that video? Can you help me? With that one? And you see, with a simple prompt, it actually starts creating a song, it puts the lyrics to it. Doesn't sound like opera yet, but it's similar. So AI can actually also be quite creative, and that means an impact for many jobs in the industry. So I actually asked myself on that evening, is AI gonna kill HR and the things I do? Will it actually replace 60% of the things I do and my team? And I called my mother because I felt I need to speak to a human being about it and somehow tame my anxiety. And my mother was always fearful what will happen to me when I'm going to be in my 80s, because I never got married, I never managed to find the right guy, and she's fearful that no one will take care of me. So in that conference, they also told us there will be a Gen AI who will take care of elderlies in the future. Now, I hope by the time I reach that age, the guy is going to look a little bit more attractive, so this actually gets more fun. But AI can also solve many problems we're going to have, so it can also be positive. So that night, I decided I'm going to be learning that technology. I will be a digital CHO. And because many of the jobs that I partner or the people I have under my care will be impacted, I must get really skilled on it. So I started to take a course with MIT. I'm now in a program with NUS, and really said, okay, I need to get more skilled on it, but I also need to ensure that all of our employees actually have an AI mastery. So they are going now to courses with NUS, MIT, NTU, for example. I still need a university from UAE, because you're very famous for that, but everyone has the possibility to get an AI certification. Now, I asked my leaders, who do you want to be? There's 3 types of people. Some people make things happen, some watch things happen, and the other ones will ask themselves, what just happened now? So you definitely at this time want to be in the first category. Now, when I looked at the results of how my leaders are actually doing today, it doesn't look so good. And you might be familiar with the left side comic, basically, of being a CTO and offering your business some solutions, and they say, can I have it in pink? Right? So we had Copilot for 1 year, only 10% of people adopted it. 77% saying, I actually have no clue of AI. Lots of them saying, my biggest barrier is skills, and there is not enough change management and adoption to it. My CTO is actually very frustrated because he has all of the technology, but people are actually not adopting it or not following it. So we did a meeting in Sydney where we brought together the top 10% of our organization, and I shared with them some of these slides. 39% of skills will be irrelevant by 2030. Over 60% can be done by technology or the collaboration of humans and technology. So what will that actually mean to our organization? Now, there's lots of jobs that will get displaced, but there will be also lots of jobs, and that's the good news, that will be created. So I said to him, look, we have 500 people. Out of them, most likely, 65 you will need to fire because these jobs will go away. And you will have 80 positions where you don't have the skills in-house. You will need to hire someone for it, and we will not be able to do it fast enough. We just went through a restructuring. So I said, you want to be famous for firing more people, or you want to be famous for getting them future fit? So that actually speared a conversation where we said, what are the skills of the future do we need, and do we actually have them? I had them fill it and honestly and say, look, none of us in the room of the top 50 actually has the skills, except maybe the CTO. So we came to that conclusion, and I think that statement of Peter Diamandis is very true. There will be two types of businesses by the end of this decade: those who embrace AI and those who will be out of business. And that applies also for us as leaders. So with this one, I actually convinced them to create a vision for UI which actually embraces AI as a technology, but it also embraces our people. So we clearly said it needs to create growth, but it also needs to secure the livelihoods of the 500 people we have and elevate the jobs they do, but actually elevate what we can do as a business. Now, when AI can do everything, what is actually left of you as a human being, right? What type of intelligence is AI taking, and what intelligence do you have? What we use on a day-to-day basis is 5%, and this is most likely what AI can take over: analytics, decisions making, data, right? But there's an unconscious part within all of us as leaders. There's an instinct, creativity, feelings, emotions, that is actually maybe not yet, let's see what happens, right? But AI can already give better feedback to my employees than most of my line managers can. So we will really need to tune up on emotional intelligence, but also what we call subconscious intelligence. So these are the three intelligences we are teaching our leaders now in UI. We said you need to be an AI literate. There's no doubt about it. You must make it your superpower. But you now really need to get high on emotional intelligence, and you need to tap into your subconscious because that is uniquely you. So this is our transformation approach. We said one thing is every leader in the organization must be digital. It is not the CTO or CIO on its own. AI must be fun. People must really love it. Digital talent is purple, so digital is not, we have digital talent here and functions here, it needs to be a mix, and people must transform people. So I will give you three really good examples of that. This is the meeting we had with the top leaders in Sydney. We've united the top 50, and we gave them a letter which said, with immediate effect today, your job as sales director is ending. And then we left a big space and we said, your new job as a digital sales director starts today. These are your responsibilities. These are the skills you must have. And this is what we expect from you. I will show you a big part of the video so you can get an impression on how it looks.
From China to Australia, I spent a full week with my top Unilever International leadership team in Sydney to talk about the implications of digital and AI on our business growth, our culture and leadership. We started with an exciting AI ritual, creating an image of ourselves and a Gen AI enjoying our biggest passion. Our CEO team talked about how AI will help us grow to 5 billion. We invited Dwayne Swan from Monday.com to speak about how they have hyperscaled their business through technology and instilled an AI-first mindset. Then our recent graduates from the MIT program AI Implications on Business Strategy presented their learnings and inspired the top 50 on AI solutions for all our area. Can you imagine having an AI agent as a team member? We worked on that question with Leandro Perez from Salesforce, presenting their latest innovation, Agentforce, which empowers every team to customize AI agents. Alex Lockley.
So I will stop it here and move to the next example, which actually is about the Fun Academy. So we call it a Funademy, which must be teaching AI. It must be as fun as going to a club. And you see on the right side a little bit the opening. Let me just see if it doesn't start. But the third initiative we took is around digital interns. So my leader said, what can a 20-year-old teach me? Now we found out that the digital intern actually knows more about digital than the CMO. So we now got them into a reverse mentoring, where they actually reverse mentor our top leaders on how to do digital and how actually digital not anymore is, or let's say leadership not defined anymore by hierarchy or the years of service you have. We also created a group of digital champions, over 80 people from the business who decided to get themselves upskilled on digital and to how to help us with the adoption in the different countries, and I'm really empowering them as business leaders. Now this one we talked about, I spoke with my team about that most likely 60% of my job will go away and what will that mean for them. And I showed them an org chart which actually shows there will be Gen AI and AI agents in collaboration with us as a team. So we met for one full week as a team and said, what do we want to give to AI? What do you want to keep with us, and what can we never give to AI? Because it's actually, we want to keep it from an ethics perspective. But it was very important how I, as a leader, actually embraced AI and showed them, I'm also learning. I also will be adding skills, and all of you will need to do the same. So we created together an AI strategy where we talked about workplace efficiency, we talk about augmented capabilities and differentiated. And each of my employees is actually now leading a pilot. So I will just show you two examples. If we can start the Synthesia video of the training clone.
Greetings to all digital champions. I am Alex, an AI avatar created with Synthesia, here to briefly talk about the capabilities of AI for Unilever International. I hope you have all seen the Digital Funademy videos. Did you know that half of it was being made by AI? The artwork of Digital Yoda flying into space here was entirely generated with just a couple of prompts to generative
So
AI.
maybe we stop her here. So this is a training which we roll out now every Friday. And basically, we are launching to the employee a new training video every Friday.
All digital champions.
She's now in our...
I am Alex, and
Thank you. Right? Udly is a technology we are using to train end-of-year conversations. So the AI actually trains with the line manager on how to have difficult employee conversations. And the last one is an interview clone, which actually joins with our line managers in interviews and summarizes for them afterwards the strengths and weaknesses of the candidate. So actually my HR team can let that go to the clone, and the clone is doing actually a much better work. The coaching AI is actually for all our 500 people. In the past, I could give coaching only to some employees. Now with the AI coach, it's actually available to everyone. So we decided we want to harness the power of AI for our 5 billion growth, but also at the same time making everyone future fit. Now, I'm not here to speak to you about AI, but I think you as technology leader are at the forefront of how to lead through this transformation. And your leadership will either inspire fear or it will inspire transformation. And I think it's a huge responsibility when I spoke with my leaders on what do we want to stand for, how do we want to lead our people through this, and how do we inspire them, and how do we get them upskilled. Now, 528 hertz, interestingly, is the frequency of love, it's the frequency of deep healing, and it is the frequency of transformation. So I will leave you with that frequency, listen to it with your hearts, and I hope you will become the change you want to see. this. I don't think we have time for questions, but I'm here the whole day, so if you want to connect with me, very happy to connect with you and speak about the topic. I hope it inspired you. And, she's saying we have time for questions, so if someone has a question, very happy to answer. No? Okay, good. There's one.
Hello. Yeah, my name is Naveed Thakur from First Abu Dhabi Bank. Yeah, so I just have one question. What were your challenges while exploring the options and the use cases for AIs? And how did you overcome those challenges?
So first of all, I had no clue what AI can actually do in HR. And I said, if I want to get my leadership team on it, I need to do first myself. So when I did the MIT course, it actually was teaching me the basics, but it gave me many use cases in customer service, procurement or robotics, which were not so applicable. I then hired someone on my team, which was an HR person, but with technology background. And I said, please go and map out all of the AIs which are out there right now. And let's meet with these vendors and let's just learn from them. What do they have? So we did a big mapping of that. I sent my HR team with him. So I said, the person who does the 360 today, you will go and you select the vendor we're going to work with, because you need to tell me, is it going to save you time? Is it going to be better for the leader to use this tool? Is it better for the employee? And what can we actually have as a differentiated qualification for that? So for me, AI is learning by doing. So you need to start doing it and you need to figure out how it works. And of course, I made mistakes, right? Some of the digital interns I brought in, they downloaded data, they know how to work Python, they uploaded in Python and did something, right? My CTO was like, oh my God, Larry, we have to stop the digital interns. This is dangerous. I was like, no. We need to educate them. Let's learn from this. Nothing happened this time. So you will learn over time. But I think if you're not taking this type of risk or you're not going for it as a leader, your team will not follow, right? And then so when I did the workshop with my leaders, I showed them the technology I have already implemented in HR, and I said, you now need to do the same in sales. More important, you need to do in marketing, because if you, for example, have a marketeer who doesn't work with AI versus a marketeer who works with AI, you have almost 60 days of time savings in there. So if other companies adopt that faster than us, they will send out marketing campaigns like hell, and we're going to die as a company, right? So it's about showing them, I think, what's the impact. And also to show them it's not about replacing the human being. You need, for an AI campaign, you need a creative mind behind that, but you can achieve really cool results with AI.
Really appreciate your answer. And in fact, you're bang on in terms of taking those risks and making the right decisions. That's what is needed in the leadership. And I guess that's the current time to adopt AI. Yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe inspire your HR leader in your organization to partner with you. Okay, good. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
I must admit, I can't